So this is a follow-up video from one I did a while back that got me a little bit unhappy. Basically, reaching out to the community to ask some questions about the Mezco figures and the usage of the brace, which apparently I was informed is nobody calls it that. I don't know what you call it, but apparently not brace. So anyway, I got some very, very helpful comments, and it took me a while to actually get around to doing it, but I finally did as I was instructed. And so you can see the figure is now using the brace. The reason I kind of did it now was because originally the problem was that the figure had kind of fallen backwards, even though the figure, see, they peg in right here. Even though the figure was pegged in, it was leaning backwards and putting a whole bunch of pressure on the ankle. So I was like, well, maybe I need to use I'm going to call it brace. The brace, but I had some real difficulties. So I reached out to the community, and I had issues because, what they said was you take this and you push it in there and it'll pop the peg out. It was really hard to pop it out. Okay, and so I just kind of didn't go ahead and do it. And then I saw the figure in there again, and this time it was leaning forward and again putting all the pressure on the ankle. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. So basically, I'll see if I could do it right here. I don't know if I can, because it's okay. I guess it's just once you have the confidence to do it, it's not that hard. Okay, so popped it out. This is actually the piece from this one, and I'm not sure where the other one went. I'll find it in a bit. But anyway, then you can put the brace in there. Now, what I had to do, and this was thank you to the commenters, remove this section here. Now, this, I would assume, is for, let's say, Superman, who's flying. Now, the reason I don't like to do that is because, in my opinion, anytime you're putting pressure on the figure with soft goods, if it's plastic, that's fine, but a figure like this, it could cause problems over time. So I don't like to do that. So basically what I did, took a Phillips head screwdriver, removed this screw, and then attached this part to here. Okay, and so the only thing I would advise is when you do that is you find the proper Phillips head, so you're not stripping the screw. In this case, I have removable head on it, and so I have like 4 different Phillips heads, and I tried a couple to make sure that I had the proper one. So I probably will be going through over time, and particularly with the figures that seem to be problematic, will give them a brace. The beauty of this brace is, number one, it holds, but it's not putting any pressure on it. So it's not actually clamped, but he's not going to fall down. Okay. The other nice thing is it's not taking up any more space than if I didn't have the brace. So he would, if he was pegged in, he'd be back here, but instead he's up here, but he's still standing on the platform. So if the space is this circular area, he's taking up exactly the same amount of space as he would any other way. I mean, I love to just have my figures standing without anything, and most of them will. But, I've had problems with, particularly with the fact that I put the Mezco figures kind of tight in my shelf, is it can create a domino effect. You have one falls, and it can be just a little, for some of these figures, it can be just a little bit of a jolt. Maybe a truck goes by, something like that. Maybe just my footsteps can cause it to possibly fall over. So the brace works a lot better. So yeah, there's things I wish, like the clamp on here actually does not appear to be that bad. Okay, the clamp on this one was rather tight, and tight enough that when I was manipulating it, I was worried that I could possibly snap that plastic, because it is just plastic. So I want to thank the community. I want to thank a few commenters who were really, really helpful and showed me how to do it, or at least gave instructions that made it quite easy to follow. And so, like I said, I will probably be going through. I'd be curious as to other people's experiences, how you display your figures. Do you display it without the stand at all? Do you display it on the peg? Do you have problems with the figures falling over? And I mentioned in there that these figures are often not, particularly balanced, and maybe the person wasn't trying to be snarky at all, but I felt like the person was like, well, duh, I mean, there's soft goods, and that's just the way it is. But I wasn't complaining about it. I was simply saying that is a fact of the matter, is that these figures are not. This one, Storm Shadow, is actually quite balanced. I think this one probably could, even could stand and probably wouldn't fall over. I've never had problems with it, so I don't know why I chose him for the brace, although I love this figure. I do love this figure. But anyway, so again, I want to thank the community, and so this is probably how I will be displaying any of the figures that seem to have problems. I have my Shadow figure, which he does not want to stand. He will stand, but every time I come back, he's fallen over. So I definitely want a brace for. Although the brace means that he's got a cloak that will go over top of him. I can't use it because it wouldn't be able to work with the brace. So I will not be able to use that. And I'm sure that there are some figures where using the brace is problematic. So thank you to everyone, and I got it working.